This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Kimarie.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. So today I'm very excited to have a very special guest with us here in the studio for the first time. And I'm sure you'll be just as excited to learn all about her and her organization, because today I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Miss Kimarie Machinga, who is the owner-operator of Brave Breakthroughs. Kimarie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so thankful to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. And like I said, very excited to learn all about you and what you do. So if you don't mind, why don't you start us off by telling us about your business?
Brave Breakthroughs is about stepping back into our power, right? It's about overcoming overwhelm and burnout and tapping into the natural resources that we already have available within us, rather than looking outward for the answers. Right, so it's a very holistic approach. We're really getting to the root of what's going on, what's stopping you, and then learning how to invest our energy differently than, and literally repatterning our habits and reprogramming our neural pathways in our brain to allow us to stepping into choice. Let's start there. Stepping into choice and not feeling like a victim of our circumstances anymore. Really understanding what is available to us and how we can tap into that.
Very cool. Well, how did you get started in this business?
I actually started in fitness and nutrition, and at a young age, I was married and going through a divorce. I had 2 young children, and at the time, doing fitness, and my son started to act out in fits of rage. He started to rip at his face until it bled, pulled clumps of hair out of his head. And I didn't know what to do. One thing that my mom pointed out was that certain foods made him act certain ways. And finally, trying everything and trying to cope myself, I ended up going to a psychiatrist where the first thing they said was he needed to be on medication. And I didn't feel like he really looked at the whole picture. I felt like he made a quick diagnosis. And I've seen people on mind-altering medication, especially children, and watch them shift and kind of dull their spirit. So to me, that wasn't the route. So that's where it started, on this journey of uncovering the answers for my son to stabilize him. And believe it or not, a lot of the foods, I didn't realize that a lot of foods that we put in our body, even everyday foods, can affect our moods, our brain chemistry, our hormone levels, our cravings, and our reactions. And so
Wow.
That really led me. So it led me on a journey. And as I was working with personal training clients and just sharing what was happening with my son and just the things I was learning, I started working with clients on such a deeper level, being able to really get underneath what their symptoms were.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So, wow, what a journey. Well, what are in your industry, what are some myths or misconceptions that you could think of?
That heredity, that things that heredity is predestined, right? That we have to get that thing because it's part of our family, or that we're preconditioned to addiction, or all of those things. And cancer cells is in every one of our bodies. But it doesn't mean that they get activated, right? And the same thing with healing. We all have the ability to heal. Our body is the only thing that it can heal itself. Doctors don't heal us. Medicine doesn't heal us. It might, treat symptoms, but it doesn't heal the body. The body heals itself. So the environment is what makes the difference on whether cancer cells will get activated or a disease will be activated or not. Right? It's not across the board that people that live in a family of addiction will be addicted to a substance, right? It has everything to do with our environment, our choices, our, where our mindset is, and where, is so much to it. And the other piece that comes with it is faith. Is where are we investing our energy? Are we investing our energy in fear and lack-based things without even realizing it? Or are we open to possibility? Are we opening up and leaning into the bigger part of ourselves? Not the piece that feels victimized by the circumstance.
Gotcha. Wow. Definitely a big misconception that a lot of people think that. And, I'm personally, you mentioned medications earlier. I absolutely despise taking any kind of medication. And unless it's going to heal me, which very few, like you said, medicines do, potentially antibiotics, maybe, but I hate taking any kind of treat the symptoms medication.
Right. I mean, sometimes you have to treat short-term symptoms, but sometimes treating symptoms can actually stop you also, because just say taking a pain medication, right? Even for headaches. And I'm not saying don't ever take headache medication or anything like that, but I am saying that there's a reason we get headaches, right? It could be a lot of different things. It could be dehydration. It could be you have something going on in your brain. It could be, there's so many things. It could be a hormonal imbalance, right? So if we keep getting headaches and we only stop the pain being like an indicator, it's like pulling the engine light, the check engine light out, right? Rather than seeing what's going on in the engine, right? It's like we take that pain medication and we dull the symptoms, which are necessary, right? They're getting our attention. I've heard it used, pain as an acronym: pay attention inside now.
I've never heard of that.
Like what's going on, what's at the core of what's going on, right? So if we're taking mind-altering medication for anxiety or depression or ADHD, it's like people think that they're born with these conditions and then they feel powerless, right? And so it's not just that thing. They're walking around feeling victimized and powerless. Now, how do we feel empowered? How do we get empowerment? We don't get empowerment from taking that medication. We feel more victimized. Now we feel like a diagnosis. We feel like there's something wrong with us. We don't see that we're whole and perfect, but the environment, there's something in the environment that needs to shift. And then environments within us, right? It's like changing the water in a fish tank. Like when a fish tank, when a fish is sick in the fish tank, the first thing they say is change the environment, change the water. Right? You don't dump stuff in the fish tank. You first thing you do is change the water.
Right. And applies for just like fish.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like even a tree, right? Could you imagine going over to a tree and the leaves start dying? So you start spraying stuff on the leaves to make the tree come back to life.
Right. Wow.
Instead of seeing what's going on in the roots.
Right. Makes perfect sense. So, Kimarie, which by the way, I love your name.
Thank you.
What do you like to do if there is time for fun? What do you like to do for fun?
I do love to go hiking. I do love to go to the mountains. I love karaoke. I love going to the beach. Mostly I love playing with my grandson in whatever way that looks, whether we're racing or he's gotten me do things that just make you laugh, right? I just love climbing into a 6-year-old's world and mind and just see life through his eyes. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I miss, when my kids were that age, and I'm now looking forward to grandchildren being that age. I told you earlier that I've got a almost 1-year-old grandchild and one on the way. So I'm looking forward to that. I totally understand what you're talking about.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Oh yeah. So let's change gears. If you could describe a hardship or a life challenge that you've overcome and how it made you stronger, does anything come to mind?
Actually, when I was in my 30s, I was 35, and I had my 33-year-old cousin passed away of a heart attack.
Ooh.
And in that time, I was raising my 2 children on my own. I was trying to build my business. Things were going well, but I was in burnout. And I tell you the story about my cousin because he was a New York City police officer. And so a lot of people were there, and they were telling stories about how fun he was and how much he lived his life. And honestly, I in my heart was feeling a little almost envious of the fact that my 33-year-old cousin had lived more of a life than I had even known was possible. I was barely surviving. I was helping other people heal and take major stepping stones in their life, but I was in burnout. And I didn't know how to fuel myself, which is why my passion now is really about helping people to stay empowered. I help the problem solvers. I call my clients the professional problem solvers, whether they realize it or not, the people that help others. I want to propel you so you can continue to share your gifts in an empowered and fueled way rather than feeling depleted and feeling like you have to trade your well-being for your purpose. So it's a purposeful, intentional action.
Purposeful, intentional. Awesome. Well, Kimarie, if you could think of one thing that you would like our listeners to remember about you and about Brave Breakthroughs, what would that be?
That you're not alone, that everything you need is inside of you, and that all it has to be is activated, to be tapped into, and that you have a purpose here, and people need what you have. They want you. You're an important, integral part of the puzzle of life, and we need you. So let's get you empowered.
All right. Well, it's a wonderful thing that you're doing, no question.
Thank you so much.
And that's a great thing to remember, by the way. So for those of us who are intrigued, would like to learn more or are in need of treatment or consultation, how can we learn more?
You can go to support at Brave Breakthroughs. There's an S on the end of that, .com. Also on YouTube, I have 2 channels. One is Dr. Kimarie, DrKimarie. And then also Kimarie Machinga with 4 1s at the end. And I am also on Instagram at Dr. Kimarie.
Very good. So all over the place, sounds like.
And LinkedIn, right? So we're on LinkedIn right now. Right. Kimarie Machinga on LinkedIn, Dr. Kimarie.
Awesome. Very cool. Anywhere else?
I think that's it.
That's it. Facebook?
Oh, yeah. Facebook, of course. I'm sorry about that. I have my full name, Kimarie Machinga, and also under Brave Breakthroughs.
Awesome. So lots of options.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, Kimarie, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to tell us all, our listeners and viewers, all about you and your practice. And we wish you and your family and your clients all the best moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity as well. Thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you. And we were, like I said, thrilled to have you and would love to have you back sometime.
Wonderful.
All right. Thanks. And have a great rest of the day.
You too. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnptry-cities.com. That's gnptry-cities.com or call 423-719-5873.